Welcome back. We are with the second part for modeling a low polystone for games. I'm modeling. So when it comes to retopology, we can get a fast approach for retopology because as it is the model right now, it's having a dense geometry. We cannot work with it for games. That's how the topology it's looking right now. It's overkill. So if we don't need any precision in the geometry, we can do a decimate and subdivide. So for now we have 1,600,000 faces, and if we subdivide it, you see that now we have 800,000. I will just keep this geometry overlay turned on. We can get it somewhere to 10 iterations. However, this method it's leaving us with a lot of triangles, and I found out that if we wanna get it to like low levels of geometry with the dense models, we cannot do that much into the decimate. After 13 or 14 iterations is not gonna be that efficient. So for 13 we have 4,630. If we go with 14 iterations, we will get 4,631. So we have one more phase, and thus as we go greater, it's not getting us any results. It's let's say acceptable if you wanna do it in a fast way. You don't have a concerning UV unwrapping. You just slap a material on a basic color and something like that. But for better usage, we can do a retopology. 1 second, I will do this. So for the manual retopology, we have to do it polygon by polygon. It's getting us somewhere, and we can keep the workflow on 4-side polygon, because this way we can subdivide it later if we want more details. As for the triangles, I will show now the basics of topology. Let's say we have this. So now it can be subdivided, and we will get a normal flow. But if we put a triangle inside here, now our topology, it's broken. And even if we add this and we make this polygon of four side, this polygon now we have a flow. Every edge it's flowing. But maybe we don't have this kind of good environment for getting rid of triangles. So if I click here, that's the edge flow. Well, for the triangles, it's acceptable. You can get rid of them somehow, but for the n-gons, you cannot solve it in any way. So right now I cannot do anything else for this side of the plane. As many cuts I add, it's not gonna affect this side. And in this kind of geometry, a flat face is not a big problem. Even if I subdivide it, I won't see any changes. But in the geometry, it's just looking awful, as you see. But if if we have change of plans, a lot of geometry is changing, let's say. Now we start to, even if I smooth, now we are starting to get some weird and unwanted shapes because of the geometry. As we have a center here, as the subdivider tried somehow to get a quad face out of that polygon. So the best way and easiest to work forward with the geometry, it's to keep it in as much as we can in quads. So I will get the high poly. I will duplicate it, like just to have a point when we are finished with the retopology. So this one, this shape will be decimated by 13. We apply it. We will give it a name. This will be version 1. Let's hide it. So now we can see them more obvious, which one is which. And let's get, first of all, let's get a plane. Now for the topology, the best workflow without any add-ons will be shrink wrap with a high poly. We can offset it, let's say 5 centimeters. It will help us to see better the geometry. And now we can enable the snapping tool. We will set it to faces, back face cooling, align rotation to target, and project individual elements. We enable every effects, and now we can adjust it. As we see, the offset it's pretty much 1 centimeter. It's enough for the moment. And the easiest way it's starting with the big shapes, because if I will start with a lot of subdivisions, as I have to control each polygon for the next part as I go through, it's gonna be hard. So I'm extruding. I'm just getting the basic shape of it out of it. Now I can select this side, and this point just jumped into. So now I can get it subdivided. I can get cuts if I want more geometry. It will update. So that's the low poly for the moment. I will speed up the process as it's gonna take some time.
like this. She virgin, I took her. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and booger. Don't know me, then look her. I be in the clouds. Pull full of Henny, I drink and I drown. Daytime better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. Like this.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. I made it, and I've done it with 336 pieces. That's lower than the decimate mesh. So we have a comparison, and this is the retopology that I made, and this is the decimate mesh. We have a lot more quality in this, a lot of more detail, but we cannot quite subdivide it well. But for this mesh, let me change the offset, maybe 0.1. Okay. So the high topology is not pointing out too much. And as I said, now that I have the mesh with quads only, I can go to subdivide the mesh. Maybe I put it first, and now, as you see, I can get it to a higher level of detail. Maybe 1. So this is helpful if you have a poly budget for for the game engine, as you will scatter a lot of stones if it's far apart from the screen. It's better with a low mesh than with something like 21,000. That was it for the retopology. That's the final topology. It's not perfect, but we are not animating it. We are not putting any armature or any skeleton on it. In the next part, I will do the unwrap and baking for the normal map to bake the high mesh onto the low mesh. Until then, bye. See you.